So basically my ovaries were they were almost like over fertilized, for lack of a better term. And so it looked like my ovaries were overproducing a certain hormone, and it made them like really, really large. Yeah.
And what was causing all of that?
Well, this is the thing. Like I'll share a bit more later. It turns out that I had a really, really rare condition that even my doctor didn't even know about it. There was no way for him to really pick it up because he wasn't looking for any of that.
Sure.
But his theory is that it is linked to, I was diagnosed with PCOS a few years ago. Thing is, it's mostly like the aftermath of it all. I'm still going through menopause. I'm 37 years old and I'm going through menopause, and it's not menopause that gradually started through. It's
right there.
So abrupt, And so all of the things that I didn't know about menopause, now I'm going through them. I'm just like, wait, hang on a minute. I haven't prepared for this. So there's so many things that happen to your body after your womb stops working, your ovaries stop working, or whatever you want to call it, or like now, in my case, an emergency hysterectomy. So yay, great, no periods. But it's also like maybe TMI, but I'm going to put it out there. Okay. Apparently it's very common for women to suffer from dry vagina. And by dry vagina, because of menopause, because of all of the hormones that are not being produced anymore.
As they would be.
Naturally. Yeah. And so apparently that's very common. And I don't mean like dry vagina like, when you're being intimate with your husband only type of thing, then it affects you then. I'm talking about just having a normal day. Your vagina, your whole area is like, for me, it was so painful. It was itchy. It was burning. Like at first I thought maybe I had some kind of weird infection or something. And I went to my OBGYN again, and he's like, welcome to menopause. I was like, what?
That hard welcome, the harsh. That's it.
Yeah.
This is reality.
Hot flashes, really bad hot flashes. Like even now, I don't really trust my body in terms of like regulating my temperature, because sometimes, like Kev has always been a warmer person than me, as in like he doesn't mind the cold at all.
Yeah.
I have to be bundled up in stuff, and he can be in a t-shirt. But there are times where I'm like, I'm so hot. And he's like, really? You're hot? It's not hot, babe. And I'm like, you're burning.
Yeah.
So just really uncomfortable and oftentimes painful things, and then learning about how menopause can affect your memory and a whole bunch of stuff. So it's just being in a place where I was not expecting to be at this age.
Yeah.
And I think even though we agreed that we're done with having kids and all of that, like while I was pregnant with Amaya, there's still this like, even if I wanted to, even if I had changed my mind, there's no way.
No.
There's no way anymore.
Yeah.
So that still hits me.
It's the part you're still mourning.
Yeah.
The part that when somebody says, no periods, you're just like,
yeah.
I get it. Like, period is just, yes, it's an inconvenience.
Yeah.
At the same time, you don't know what I traded to not have that period.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you moved past, you went to the doctor, your therapy, you got your medicine. How are you feeling now?
I know there are still moments where I question how womanly I am. I've been told that like, you're still a woman, you're still this and stuff, like a womb doesn't make you a woman.
Yeah.
And I know that theoretically that's true, but for the first like 6-7 months after the birth, I was walking around I could feel that my womb wasn't there anymore. I could actually feel that something was missing. And I remember describing this to some of my friends, and they're like, but how do you feel your womb? I'm like, but it was an actual part of my body. It was part of me.
It's that body part. It
was a
wasn't just
body
there
part.
because it happened to be there. It was actually doing something.
It had its place.
Yeah.
It had its function, and now it was gone. And it was so abrupt. And I think for me, that's what still kind of like lingers for me, you know, is that sort of like knowing that there's something missing, you know. And sometimes I don't get them anymore, but the first few months, I would almost feel like there was almost like a muscle memory thing or something that, you know, I'm feeling like my premenstrual cramps. But I'm like, I can't be cramping because I don't have a womb, so it must be something else. So my mind has to kind of rationalize a lot of things. And for a while, especially before I started the antidepressants, I was like, you know, I had wrist tendonitis or whatever it's called, and my back was painful, and my hips weren't like realigned, like re-engaged or whatever. So I was like almost falling over and tipping over. Like my body wasn't happy. And I was like, I honestly felt like my body was very aware of the fact that one of us is gone. One of us is gone.
We're missing something.
We're missing something. But this woman is trying to move on without her. And it was almost like my body was trying to hold me back. Like, hey, slow down, stop it. Let's process this. Let's mourn her. And so I think I'm at that stage. I still haven't mourned my womb. Not in the way that I would have. I don't think there's any way to, I don't know how to explain it. Of course, there's no way to like to mourn a womb, but I just wish that I had that opportunity to say bye.
To give you the closure.
To get that closure. And to say thank you.
Yeah. Did they not show it to you?
No.
I was, of course, you were asleep.
Yeah.
So you're always going to feel like...
it was just so abrupt, you know?
Yeah.
It was a very abrupt thing. It was like one moment I was awake and I had my womb and my ovaries, and then the next...
You woke up in a whole different state.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't even get a chance to transition through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm better. I'm much better. You know, we always take videos of the baby's births. And until this day, I have not been able to watch Amaya's birth because I'm worried that it's going to trigger me
and take you all the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, the triggers are also still there. I know when I walk down Discam aisle and I see all of the feminine hygiene products, the tampons, all of that stuff, it straight away goes to, you don't have a womb, you're never going to have a period again. You know, when people talk about their periods, I'm like, I can't be part of that conversation anymore. Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, it's very lonely because it's like, I don't know anybody else who has gone through what I've gone through.
Yeah.
And not to say that it doesn't happen, but because as so many stories of motherhood, it's not something that you really hear about.
Sure.
After that first trimester and getting over like the morning sickness and, you know, all of that kind of stuff, then I was like, okay, you know, it is what it is. Let's do this. And I won't lie, even though I was a happy boy mom, when the doctor confirmed that it's a girl, I was like, it's a girl.
Yeah.
I'm having a girl.
Yeah.
Like, so that made me really, really just sort of like, okay, you know, like, yeah. Yeah, and I think I also had a feeling before. I always have a feeling in my pregnancies before the doctor confirms the gender. I'm always like, this is a boy. I can feel it's a boy. Whereas this time round, there's a bit of a saying that when you're pregnant with a girl, like you kind of look uglier.
Yes.
So I definitely felt that way. My husband said that's not the case, but I definitely felt less cute.
Yeah. And then leading up to the delivery, how were you feeling? Did anything feel, you know, out of place?
No, it didn't feel out of place. I mean, I was due for my planned Caesar, you know, mid-May, right? On like the 1st of May or something. It was like the beginning of May. I had my baby shower. The night before, that's when I had like some, as they call Braxton Hicks. But I kid you not, it feels like labor.
Yeah.
It feels like actual labor. And I've been in labor before. So I was like, but something didn't feel right though. Cause I was just like, it's not regular. And so I told Kev to, check with the contraction app and stuff, like, how far apart they are. But then, it quietened down. And then the next day, the morning of my baby shower, they came back like really badly. And that's when I had like a bit of an anxiety moment, because I was like, I'm not packed. I don't have like nothing was sorted. I'm like, the baby's not due for another 2-3 weeks, like, because by that time I was like 35 weeks or something.
Yeah.
So that's when I was really nervous. That's when I was scared. I just didn't feel ready.
Yeah. The baby's not ready.
Yeah.
Nobody's ready and prepared for things to come.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened? Did you end up in hospital? Did they...
Yeah, I went to the hospital. They hooked me up to, what are those things called again?
Stress test machines.
Yes, yeah. They hooked me up to those, and they also gave me a really, really strong painkiller.
So you were in a lot of pain.
I was in pain, I was in pain, but because I think it was because the contractions weren't regular. They're like, this is not active labor.
Yeah.
And so they also just checked, the baby's like heart rate and everything was fine. So they're like, you can go. Because I told them, I'm like, because I was like dressed up. I had my hair done and everything. And I was like, I have my baby shower to go to. And they're like, you can go if you want. I was like, okay. So then, Anyway, so they didn't admit me. I just ended up going to the baby shower.
Yes.
High.
Hoping for the best.
I was like high on drugs.
Of course.
Those painkillers they gave me.
Yeah.
So by the time I got to the baby shower, I was like...
floating on air.
Yeah. Even you remember, you were doing my makeup.
It was actually a good day. It was low-key stressful because, you could have been in labor at the time and everything was already set up, but then you were not in labor.
Yeah.
So when you came out, it was like, okay, we're still on eggshells, but it's okay. She's here. It's good.
I'm just glad that everyone was able to like postpone everything, because I just felt so bad, because I was like in the hospital, like, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to come later. And
I think we all got stressed out by, what if the baby does come today? Then what? Like, we couldn't figure out like what's plan, like the last plan Z. What do we do?
Yeah.
And then eventually when you're like, no, I'm out. We're like, great. Yeah, it's fine. We'll make it. And then we'll just carry on as if nothing happened.
Yeah. I'm just glad that we still, it was a bit tight on time.
Yeah.
But at least it happened. So all good.